On a quiet day in New York, the air was thick with grief and reverence as celebrities, friends, and family gathered for Sammy Davis Jr.'s funeral. Among them sat Dean Martin, the legendary Italian-American singer known for his smooth voice, charisma, and charm. Yet this wasn't just any ordinary funeral. Something profound was about to happen. In a room filled with mourners, a simple whisper from Dean Martin would shock everyone and leave hearts silently shattered. This wasn't about fame or power. It was about love, respect, and a lifetime of values instilled by his mother, Angelina. Dean, a man celebrated for his humor and effortless charm, had carried lessons of honor, integrity, and truth all his life. Tonight, those lessons would speak louder than words or tears. As whispers spread and eyes turned toward him, everyone felt the weight of anticipation. What could Dean possibly say in this moment that would stop conversations, freeze hearts, and leave a lasting impression on everyone present? The story begins decades earlier, in a small Italian-American household where values were forged in sacrifice and love. Dean Martin grew up in an Italian-American family in Ohio, learning early on the meaning of hard work, sacrifice, and respect. His mother, Angelina Crocetti, worked tirelessly to support the family, often putting her own needs aside. From cooking meals to cleaning houses for long hours, she instilled in Dean a deep understanding of honor, integrity, and perseverance. These lessons became the foundation of his life, shaping not only his personal character, but also his professional approach to music, entertainment, and relationships. Dean Martin became a legendary performer, famous for his smooth vocals and magnetic stage presence. Yet behind the charm lay a man who valued truth and honor above convenience or fame. He was a professional who refused to compromise standards, even when it put him in danger. This dedication to principle set the stage for one of the most tense and defining encounters of his life. Knowing what was right rather than what was easy, Dean Martin learned to carry himself with dignity, balancing courage with empathy, a combination that would later save his life. On August 23, 1964, Dean Martin found himself in Piero's, one of Las Vegas's most exclusive Italian restaurants, dining alone and reading a script. The air shifted as 5 men entered, their presence commanding attention. At the center was Carlo Gambino, the feared and powerful mafia boss who controlled the 5 New York families. Gambino's goal was clear: confront Dean over a personal grievance. 6 months earlier, Dean had rejected Gambino's nephew, Michael, for his show due to lack of talent. For the mafia, such a rejection was an insult, a challenge to authority. The restaurant fell silent as Gambino and his men approached, hands poised near concealed weapons. Everyone held their breath, knowing the stakes. Dean's life could be at risk. The tension was palpable. Any misstep could spark violence. Yet Dean Martin, calm and composed, greeted Gambino with quiet respect. In that moment, it became evident that this confrontation was not just about personal pride, but about a man's principles clashing with the power and threat of one of America's most dangerous crime figures. Dean's response would define not only that night, but his legacy. As Gambino launched his verbal attack, insulting Dean's mother and Italian heritage, the tension in Piero's reached a breaking point. Every diner, every waiter could feel the weight of the moment. Gambino's men gripped their jackets, ready to act violently at a single word. Dean Martin, however, remained calm, processing every detail. Instead of anger, he chose honesty and vulnerability, stepping into a moral and emotional battlefield. Dean acknowledged the insult to his mother, but reframed it with a story about her sacrifices, working 16-hour days, cleaning homes, cooking for her family, and teaching Dean the values of honor and hard work. Each word he spoke carried emotion and truth, filling the room with a quiet, powerful force. He demonstrated that strength wasn't in retaliation or aggression, it was in integrity and love. The tension shifted as Gambino, a man accustomed to intimidation, found himself confronted not with fear or deception, but with the undeniable power of truth. Dean's calm and heartfelt response transformed the confrontation into a lesson on respect, humanity, and the power of personal integrity. Gambino, initially rigid and threatening, experienced a transformation that night. The power dynamic changed as Dean's words highlighted not weakness, but strength. Gambino listened, captivated, as Dean honored his mother's life and sacrifices, demonstrating the principle that respect and honesty outweigh fear or aggression. Slowly, Gambino moved from anger to understanding, even admiration. He sat at Dean's table, ordered wine, and toasted Dean's mother, acknowledging her dedication, sacrifice, and love. In that moment, the confrontation turned into reconciliation. Dean Martin's refusal to compromise his values not only preserved his own life, but established a bond of mutual respect between two men from entirely different worlds. By choosing truth over submission or violence, Dean showed that moral courage can disarm even the most dangerous people. The restaurant's tense silence shifted to awe as diners witnessed a man standing firmly in his principles. Dean's careful, heartfelt strategy turned potential tragedy into an unforgettable display of honor, demonstrating that empathy, truth, and courage can alter even the harshest circumstances. Following that night, Dean Martin and Carlo Gambino developed an unusual but enduring respect for each other. They were not friends in the conventional sense. They didn't socialize casually or play golf together, but a mutual understanding emerged, built on honor and shared values. Dean's reputation in Las Vegas became untouchable, with Gambino even intervening when other mobsters attempted to intimidate him in later years. Dean attended Gambino's mother's funeral, showing respect for her sacrifices, just as he honored his own mother. Over time, Dean's story became legendary, illustrating the power of integrity, honesty, and love. Fellow entertainers, including Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr., marveled at how Dean had navigated one of the most dangerous confrontations of his life with dignity. The story cemented Dean's image not just as an entertainer, but as a man of principle, someone who valued truth and honor above all else. His example proved that courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, unwavering, and rooted in respect for what truly matters. Dean Martin's life and career were defined by lessons learned from his mother. Work hard, honor family, and never compromise your integrity for power or convenience. That night at Piero's exemplified these principles, showing that truth and love can disarm even the most dangerous individuals. Years later, at Carlo Gambino's funeral, Dean again honored a life shaped by sacrifice, demonstrating the deep respect that had grown between them. Dean carried this story privately, allowing it to shape his decisions, relationships, and legacy. The whispered truths, the courage to stand firm, and the unwavering respect for his mother became the core of his personal legend. Dean Martin passed away on December 25, 1995, but the lessons of that night endure. True strength lies in honesty, respect, and love. It is not fame, money, or power, but integrity and devotion to those who raised us that define a life worth remembering. The story leaves audiences inspired, a timeless reminder that honor and love always triumph over fear.